Welcome to Indy Unplugged, the podcast sets your front row seat to the real talk of Indianola. I'm Aaron Young, your friendly neighborhood host, and we're diving deep into unfiltered stories, candid chats, and the nitty-gritty of our vibrant city. Think of this as a crash course in all things Indianola. No fancy jargon, just real conversations. So, get comfy, hit that play button, and let's explore the heart and soul of our community together on Indy Unplugged. All right, welcome back to another episode of Indy Unplugged, a City of Indianola podcast. And today we're going to learn more about the upcoming solar project that Indianola Municipal Utilities is taking on for the betterment of the entire city of Indianola and really, the county, the state. Let's just talk about the world. And with me today is IMU General Manager Chris DesPlanques. Chris, how are you doing today? Thanks for hopping on.
Very good. Glad to be here.
Yeah. So just tell us a little bit more about this project, how it came to be, and just kind of open up the floor for you to really just share some light into this project background.
Well, it's always been a Board of Trustees priority to look for diverse sources of power and, ideally ones that are cost effective and in coordination with our wholesale suppliers' Vision 2050 to be carbon neutral. So they proposed a RFP. They went out and looked at a couple of nationwide vendors, made sure all the big players in the market were invited to this. They did a lot of the legwork for us, vetted the vendors, looked at the proposals. And we were able to look at this and the financial aspects of it. And, all in all, I kind of jokingly say that, we got two types of people, those that it needs to be all carbon free tomorrow. And we got the I don't care, I want it the cheapest as possible. I usually determine the best path when nobody's happy with what we're doing. It's usually kind of somewhere in between. But uniquely enough, the results of this project were we got our carbon-free source. It is located in our facilities. So we don't have to pay transmission costs on it, and it's going to save the community a lot of money.
So how important with the timing of this project, just with everything being right here, right now, just how vital is it for this current state of Indianola and our citizens?
In the utility market, statewide, region-wide, and countrywide, transmission is volatile. The costs go up and down, and that's a lot of the work that we do at the utility is to make that easy for the rest of us. We work on normalizing that and averaging it out and making predictable monthly bills level and flat for our community. But there's a lot of cost shifts that go up and down throughout the week, month, day, hour. And, the fact that there's one component of this, the energy produced here is going on the IMU distribution system. There's no transmission on that. And as the transmission market gets wild and volatile, here's a section of power that we don't have to worry about that component on.
Yeah. So with the groundbreaking event that's taking place on Wednesday, September 25th, 10 a.m., tell us a little bit more about that groundbreaking event and what attendees can expect.
Well, so there are three communities. Part of what I said there, this RFP was our wholesale provider directed that. There's three communities in the state of Iowa that elected to participate that, ourselves, Waverly, and another smaller community. Sandhills is very excited that they were able to kind of leverage the buying power of the group. And so they're actually going to walk through. They're doing a lot of the legwork and preparation for this. And we'll meet out there. It's going to be somewhat informal. I'll say a few words. Some of the mean folks will say a few words about what it means to them. We'll have the group at Sandhills that'll say a few words. And the mayor's also going to kind of give a little bit of the city council's impact on what a project like this will mean to the community.
Wonderful. How excited are you and the entire IMU team to really kind of set the stage with this project really, on Wednesday, and then all the other updates and progress that'll be made after Wednesday's event?
So yeah, it's a construction kickoff, but this is a couple of years worth of work that a lot of the IMU team spent a lot of negotiation, time, effort, and getting us to where we're at now. Here's the exciting part: the construction part. We get to actually see this being built, and we'll um, be able to monitor the progress, and we're certainly through our channels give construction updates. We're excited to see this happen, and some of the cool stuff that'll happen beyond this. I know those in the community have expressed their interest in this. They really want to see what's happening. We'll, some of the future plans are to leverage some of the APIs and be able to see, give the community an opportunity to see the power and what percentage of the outputs being facilitated by this solar array in real time. So, we'll certainly leave out lay out the construction, but as we near completion, the scheduled completion date is June 30th. But as we near that and get ready to turn this on, I think a lot of exciting things are forthcoming, and the community will enjoy some of those. It's kind of tough to quantify what does 4 megawatts mean to you. It might not be terribly impactful, but when you can see at certain parts of the day, a third or 40% of the electricity used by our community are going to be coming out of that solar array, that's something really neat, and we want to be able to show the community for years on end what that benefit's going to look like, and just help everyone kind of conceptualize the true impact we're having with it.
Yeah. And that location of the solar array, just remind listeners again where all this construction and the location of all this work will be taking place.
So it is at our existing water facility at 1602 South K. Part of the reason that this plan or project worked out is, or is as great as it is we don't really have any cash outlay. We're going to do some construction work to connect this into our grid, but it's really not costing us anything. Part of the value or the excitement that I have as a project, that all the risk of hail damage or something didn't work and something's broke and needs to be cleaned and needs to be maintained, that's all being incurred on by somebody else. So we didn't have to hire anybody or incur any costs or do this. We get all the benefit with none of the costs, which it is fabulous.
And for community members to learn more information about this project, where's the best place they could go to discover all these different resources and information?
Indianola.com. We post a lot of our updates on Facebook, but Indianola.com will have all the links when they do become available, and we'll let everybody know of changes that happen on Facebook.
Awesome. And then lastly, Chris, I just kind of want to open up the floor to you to maybe share any final closing remarks or just anything else that's in the works that's exciting over at IMU, and just maybe any updates you'd like to share with the listeners.
Well, certainly I think everyone from the board to the employees appreciates the community support. I think, what surprised me as I started as the general manager is when there is a power outage, it upsets me, it bothers me. But I bet we get 10 to 1 compliments like, you guys work so fast. This was great. I saw everyone out there. Glad you could get this and get it fixed as quick as you can. Where it would be easy just to complain, the community supports us, and we do appreciate that. I love hearing all the good impacts that we have. I know from time to time there's water main breaks or electric outages. We work really hard to keep those minimized. We're continuously investing in our infrastructure. That's our number one priority. So you'll be seeing a lot of one-off projects, both improvements of water mains or the larger improvement that you'll see over probably the next 10 years is we're going to try to underground all of our electric facilities. We'll start with the areas south of 92, but over the next 10, 15 years, you'll get to see a lot of that go underground. And we're doing that for reliability. And, there's certainly an aesthetic benefit, but trees not going to fall onto it when it's underground. So we're continuously looking to improve that and and really kind of those incremental water main improvements, the electric improvements, putting that stuff underground. Those are two of our big ones. And of course, on the IMU fiber side, we're testing some 10 gig capabilities. So look forward to multi-gig speed and capacities in the future, up to 10 gigs with some of our current generation equipment. Again, I'll pat myself on the back and the rest of the IMU Fiber team. We got the greatest product in the business here, and certainly the best internet provider you can have in Indianola. And we're working hard to keep that up and investigating those next generation opportunities right now so we can keep our advantage.
Kind of on that same frame of thought, I mean, think about some of our other central Iowa communities for the sake of underground work or everything in terms of fiber. I mean, how is IMU on the cutting edge of technology and innovation to best serve community members? I mean, are we, for the sake of the underground work, are we at or a little bit above the work that's maybe being done by some of our other central Iowa communities? Or for the sake of fiber, where are we at in comparison to some of those other central Iowa cities specifically?
Well, I think what the difference kind of you're speaking is at IMU, we're community owned, community driven. There's no shareholders. There's no profit motive there, and so as we look on what we should be doing or how we should operate, the first answer is what's the best way we can be doing it. We don't have to worry about a dividend report coming out or have to push this project off because we're not going to make any shareholder projections or profit center stuff. We can say what is, the best and focus on the path forward and with a singular benefit community mindset, that's driving us and not a profit motive. So you certainly see that with the undergrounding. We've got one community handled, but it is, our number one priority, and we're going to make sure that we have the best product out there available. Likewise with fiber, certainly I think there are other commercial vendors and ventures that are out there. Hear those popping up in the neighboring communities, but, IMU Fiber was founded on the kind of principle of here's some unmet needs in the community. We think we can do it better and do it ourselves with a community focus. And you saw that from the foundation, and you see this in the investment for the future. Certainly the investment and the money that it takes to continue to move forward and have a better product. It could be going to the shareholders, but instead it's going to enhance the community's performance and availability of high-speed internet.
Well, Chris, thank you so much for joining us today on this episode of Indy Unplugged. Community members, you can find all this information about the solar project online at IMU's website at www.indianola.com, as well as on social media, specifically Facebook. And make sure you like and subscribe Indy Unplugged, wherever you're listening to your podcast. Leave us a comment, leave us a review. That way we can make sure that we're hitting the mark for these episodes to ensure that we're providing that real-time information in these behind-the-scenes conversations. And who knows, maybe someday you'll be a future guest of Indy Unplugged.